My name is Matthew Wood.
My last name is Han. My first name Hong Kong.
So my name is Natalie Houston.
So my name is David Gibson.
I actually come from Durban in South Africa.
I'm from the United States, from a little place called Salt Lake City, Utah, in the West.
From Australia.
I'm from Singapore. I like cooking.
I like swimming and walking.
I have a lot of hobbies, probably too many, and I'm not very good at any one, but I love music. I like to play the guitar and the harmonica. I love blues music and a lot of American, like rock and roll type guitar music. So yeah, it's probably my biggest hobby.
And I guess my hobby is I like to learn new things.
Interior design. In fact, interior design is new in WKU, and that is mainly the reason why I'm here. I've been hired and engaged to launch this new program, the very exciting program, especially within the College of my College of Art. Well, interior design generally in China is still not quite recognized per se. There's a misconception between interior design and interior decoration. I think in the Chinese perspective, interior design may mean restaurant, but it's actually not. Interior design, rather interior design encompasses interior decoration, but interior decoration is not necessarily interior design. Of course, in King USA or in America, interior design is much more recognized as a profession because there's licensure, certification involved to be an interior design professional. Like I said, it's not the same here in China. I told my student the other day, I said, what is the importance of a profession such as a doctor and a lawyer and all that? It's about saving lives. The lawyer help you to get out of jail, or even for that matter, more serious punishment. And the doctor is saving life as well. So I guess what interior designers would do is more about not saving perhaps, but preserving. You live healthy. A lot. Obviously, I think, first of all, let's say, why do we design? We design for people. Now, interior design, as the word interior means that we are more concerned about our interior environment within the shell of the building. But in a sense, we also need to be concerned with the relative context of where this interior space is. So we should be concerned with the architecture as well. Now, graphically, of course, it's a lot more visual aesthetics, things that we look at. So what can students learn? Student learns a lot about creating environment. The main objective of interior design is focusing on health, safety, and welfare. So in other words, we are trying to create very practical, functional, of course, aesthetically pleasing space that will enhance the safety and security for the people who are occupying or using the space, to be comfortable, to be safe, and also promote healthy living. So in a nutshell, the students obviously going through a 4-year program will learn a set of set skills such as drawing, sketching, including digital format and so forth, in a way to express their own creative idea. Now subsequently, the other part is to develop their creative thinking, abstract thinking, in terms of how to create useful environment, and that really enhances their ability to think beyond the box.
So I teach industrial design here at the university. We're in the School of Architecture in the design department. Industrial design is the best way I could describe it is architects design buildings industrial designers design products, right? Everything from your cell phone to clothing to the shoes you wear. So consumer products, we make them beautiful, we make them more useful, and I think the most important thing that a student could get from this major is learning to become more creative, learning to become more involved in the things that you buy and see and use every day. It helps you to think a little differently about those things. And also, I think it's a really fun major too because you get to draw. I've worked as a professional designer for almost 15 years now, in addition to teaching, and I get paid to draw, which is really fun. So if you really enjoy drawing, if you love being creative, and if you love making new things with your hands, this is a great major.
So graphic design will teach, like I said, it will teach you how to think creatively. So you do learn the design process and what different stages you will go through in terms of the design process. And you do learn how to use applications like Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign. And today students also learn how to do web design, user experience design, and user interface design. Because everything is starting to be a lot more media based. Sometimes students also concentrate on photography or illustration, but it's really the creation of visuals, where students learn how to take an idea and present that visually. So they're either doing this on print, on the web or the computer, or photographically. So there are many areas of design, and sometimes students have to really choose a focus that they want to take.
I teach graphic design, and my students learn effective communication techniques using a visual form. I think students need an ability and confidence to think differently and to explore new ideas and concepts.
The type of students we're looking for are students that are creative and willing to learn. Design is ambiguous. It is sometimes hard to pin down exactly. So the best kind of designers are people who like to solve problems, like to understand problems. And I would say the best kind of skills, it's important to have artistic skills, like I said, to be able to draw and to enjoy drawing and want to learn how to draw better, but also creative skills in general, to think creatively, to solve problems, to understand problems, and also a curiosity to learn new things. As a product designer, we design all kinds of products, right? Like the camera that we're using here, to shoes that we wear. And so as a designer, you have to understand a lot about these different topics and places. So having a good desire to learn new things is a really important skill.
I think most important, I've been in academia for quite a while now. I think for the learning process, most important is for students to have the right frame of mind, the right attitude. Not merely simply say, I'm interested in design, but to be able to take it and do it in a sense. Learning is not always easy. There are always up and down. Because, in general life, that is how we deal with it. And as long as they have the right attitude with an open mind and willing to learn, and eventually nurture their interest into a passion, and that is most important, I guess. Not much of any other preparation other than a technical skill. If they already have, or rather gifted in drawings and all that, that will definitely help. That will only enhance their means of communicating the ideas eventually. But like I said, the attitude, I think, is one of the most important.
They need to be able to use the right side of their brain. They need to be creative thinkers. They need to be creative. They need to be able to communicate, meaning they need to be able to use language. They need to be able to use typography. They need to learn how to use applications like Illustrator, InDesign, also media applications, and they need to be able to present their work, because very often we think that graphic design is only about creating a visual, but you have to actually communicate the idea. If you have a client, you have to be able to stand up in front of a client and sell the idea to a client. So those are some of the qualities that, or some of the things that graphic design students will learn.
Yeah, so industrial design is unique where there's a lot of great jobs, even with an undergrad degree. And in fact, most professional designers work with an undergraduate degree, and so having a degree from Kane here will prepare you for a job immediately out of school, or also for a graduate degree elsewhere. I think the most important thing or type of employment is often, or the most common type of employment is usually working for companies and brands that design new products, but also many designers work for individual design firms where they can go work for a company that designs for many brands. A lot of my work that I do professionally now, as I run my own consulting business, working for different companies, which is something to expect, and also is kind of a fun way to look at design, as I get to work with different companies and brands and types of products all the time. It keeps things interesting and creative. So many different directions you can go professionally, and specific directions. Some designers become toy designers, some designers just design shoes, some designers just design electronics or clothing. So if you have a particular interest, it's a unique opportunity to kind of specifically go in that direction as well.
Graphic design will never ever be redundant, because everything we see around us is created almost by a graphic designer. It's a job that will always be available. And the world we live in is very visual. If you go to the supermarket, most of the products that you see on the shelf, or the packaging or the designs on the packaging, and everything that we actually look at has been packaged or has been designed. The packaging has been designed by a graphic designer. So it's a job that the prospects for graphic designers are always there. And obviously a graphic designer has to constantly or continuously hone their skills, because it's constantly changing. Like before we had newspaper and print, and a lot of stuff was done on print, but now we have media where we have web design. The newest thing, for example, is user interface design and user experience design, where the graphic designer is expected to understand what a user of applications, or how a user is going to use applications that are designed. For example, when you pick up your phone, how are you going to use it? What experience do you make when you're actually picking up your phone? And if you want to go from your phone to your laptop, the design has to change. So they have to actually learn how to create designs that change from one interface to another. Okay? So from your cell phone onto your laptop, and sometimes people actually look at stuff on their televisions these days. So there are designers that are actually creating the experience for you, the applications for you.
Okay, interior design in particular it has a very bright future, I would say. Although I told you earlier on, I was prior to WKU, I was in Shanghai. Now, why do I say that? In the sense that just alone this year, I think the Chinese government had upgraded 10 cities from tier 2 to tier 1. Now, what does that got to do with interior design? I guess overall, China is trying to upgrade itself constantly. Now, by upgrading the city, or expanding the city, or investing in the city, you need infrastructure. How could a city being promoted from tier 2 to tier 1, right? government will invest heavily in terms of building the infrastructure. And what does that mean? More buildings, more schools, more restaurants, more hotels and all that. Well, you need to have these places to accommodate the influx of population. And when that happens, people need to eat, people need to sleep, people need a place to stay, to function, to have leisure, entertainment and so forth. Interior design is heavily involved, right? So as architecture.
Welcome to Industrial Design, where we make the world a little bit better every day, one product at a time.
Welcome to Wenzhou King University. We would like you to join us in this exciting journey as we launch the new interior design program.
So if you want to study graphic design, make sure you like graphic design and you're going to enjoy the major.
Welcome to graphic design.